I love you this day. And my name is Theodore Cottingham of the University of the New Covenant. A radical departure from the ways that we have grown up with. My question for you today is, are you willing to walk in your power? Are you willing to lead the leadership of you, to you, through your own words, that you release the consciousness of the source of one, a consciousness of all creators, creation of? Are you willing to see a new paradigm, a new origination story of mankind? Are you willing to not be imbued with the limitations of the book called the Bible, or all the sacred books that people bow down and worship, memorize, and limit their lives by? Will you come out of the limitations that you have imposed upon yourself because other people have ascribed great glory, honor, and power to certain writings that say, this is the way, walk ye therein? Think for yourselves. Think for yourself. Will you think? Will you analyze? Will you research? Will you consider? Will you question? Will you let curiosity flourish in your life? Will you start caring about your word more than you ever have? The integrity of your word? Keeping your promises, being punctual? What is the power of your word? What is the power of your internal might? Light? If you don't restrict you, what can you achieve? What can you record? What can you write? What can you effect? What can you bring about? The rejuvenation of you? The resurrection of you? Where you don't come down from a wooden cross that someone has nailed you to, but metaphorically, allegorically. Are we not tainted by all of the teachings, all of them mixed up, conglomerated, amalgamated into something that we call religion or cultural values, or we label just the way it is? I suggest that you can lead you out of biblical Egypt, because you and humankind is in fact the children of Israel in the great allegory called the Bible. It's an allegory. It tells a story, but the real message is far bigger. It's a magnanimous story of love and light. I suggest the cosmos was our playground way before time ever began. I suggest to you the whole 3D plane, the magnetosphere, the whole way that duality works is not a limitation to you, oh friend. So I ask you to develop your leadership this day. I ask you to consider leadership and not be constrained by the controlling message of Christianity or whatever religious message you chose or you were born in or you were persuaded by to limit your life to. I ask you to take the limits off of your life, off of your kindness, off of your light source that is internal to you. Whether you call your heart this thing or this thing. But the real you, magnanimous one, is light-filled, and the originality, the originator, the creator of light. I suggest your leadership has no limits if you will listen to your inner voice, that you allow to teach you directly about all things, and that is the new covenant. The new covenant is not a book. The new covenant is not Jesus. The new covenant is basically, we talk about it, began with a promise. The promise of what? The new covenant is the operation of the implanted word of the creator of all things released in you to teach you how to be the leader you are instead of someone who is dependent on someone else, some other authority, some other person doing something for you. I suggest that you are powerful and you are pure love, light. You are the angelic race of heaven. We fell. What did we fall into? Our thinking. Thought? Are we using thought, or is thought using us? Is thought, is something, is an entity, is the operation of thought using us? Is it feeding on our power, our mind to inhabit us? I suggest that you are the most powerful one in your universe. And I suggest you are lovely beyond any standards set by man. I suggest that no woman is under man, and there's no authority in heaven above you, if you will but surrender to learn yours, to walk in it and develop it in love, light, and peace. This is the promise. This is the result of a life well lived. Well, I've said a lot in these 8 minutes. I love you and I bless you and I honor you. Please don't live your life in a condition of followership and servantship and servanthood, serving a God you think you need to please or a religion you need to acquiesce to. I ask you to develop your light, your voice. The word is the seed. The seed is in you, and no one can take that seed away. The seed of greatness is in you because the great you, the greatest of all. So what is the greatest love of all? One who lays down their life for another, or lays down the life that we think we're living to live the life of love. Love will come to us in manifold ways. I'm just one witness of one. One little guy in Eureka Springs making a video on my telephone asking you not to limit your life to the theories of mankind and the religions of the world, but to allow the eternal light of you to come forth and teach you to be the unlimited you, the risen Christ. And that's the message. And that's what I preach, teach, 100 ways, 100 times. Whatever breath I have, convey it I will, that you are the Christ. We haven't known it. We haven't understood it. We haven't had the awareness of our power. And we've been taught to sit in a pew and pray to a remote source. But you are the originator. And I love you and bless you this day. This is Theodore Cottingham in Eureka Springs, and my website is theodorcottingham.com. Loving you all. Love somebody this day. Begin in your mirror. See you later.